My coverage of CES 2020 is brought to you by MSI, Thermaltake, Lian Li, and Cooler Master. Hey guys, I'm at ADATA now. Also, they have XPG, which they have a bunch of products under. And I'm gonna start out with this right here behind me. It's a big old case. XPG has made a few cases recently that I'm gonna show you in a second. This one's a little bit different though. So this is being called the XPG Volta. It is a high-end full tower case, and when we say full tower, we really mean full tower in this particular instance because look how tall this is. It's actually just shy of 1 meter tall. So we're looking at a vertical chimney style cooling design, of course, and we're also looking at a lot of RGB. A lot of addressable RGB wrapping around the sides of the case since it's kind of a big vertical cylinder. A bunch of LED strips along there, all addressable. You can also see the I/O tucked in right up there on the side. They've got USB Type-C and some premium features that you would expect for a premium case. Because this is still in development, they're not 100% sure the price, and this might not also be the final version of the case. It's expected to be one of those premium cases that sells for around $500, but again, there might be some changes made in the future. It has effectively a lid on the top with handles, so if it was on the ground, you could use that to hold it and possibly even lift it if you're strong enough. And then the entire internal cage can just slide out to the side. It's got some rails down on the bottom, so just give it a pull. It's got some handles on the back, and it also has 4 rolly wheels on the bottom, so you can just spin it around and get a look from all sides. It initially kind of reminded me of like one of those droids that you see kind of wandering around in the Star Wars universe from time to time. But practically speaking, it supports EATX motherboards and 3 graphics cards. Yes, 3 graphics cards. You're probably not going to have need for more than 2, but it can support 3. Right now they have the GPU oriented to face out, so you can see it through the side panel. You can see the motherboard behind that, and then they have this set up with a water cooling loop for the CPU. It's also got multiple radiator support. I'm not going to say specifically what and where, but they can at least do a 240 in the top. I can confirm that. And overall, I'd just say a very unique, different looking case. Very unexpected from ADATA XPG, so guys, let me know what you think of the Volta. Here are those XPG cases that I talked about, and these have actually already been out for a little bit, so you guys may or may not have heard of them. Just wanted to point them out that they exist, and you may or may not be interested, depending on whether you like the look. This is the XPG Battle Cruiser. It's available in black or white. They have this one set up with a pretty cool water cooling loop, just for the CPU once again, but they've also integrated a Bits Power distro plate right there. Tempered glass on the side and the front, but the front, tempered glass on the side and the front, but the front one has a decent amount of a gap there for airflow, so that shouldn't affect it too much. And then here's the XPG Invader chassis, which currently is in all whites. Again, tempered glass on the side, and then it's got this front panel that can pop off entirely, so you can imagine if you're doing an event or you're getting a bunch of systems set up together, you could do a screen on that and easily remove it to set up a graphic, something like that, and then pop it back on. Let's talk about some memory and some storage, since this is ADATA after all. That is kind of their bread and butter. Over here we have some new SSDs, so let's talk quickly about that one and this one, and then this one. So that one there is the SX8100 NP. It's now available in a 4 terabyte capacity, so that's really cool. 4 terabytes on a single little M.2 drive, super nice. This is the SU630, which is often available for a really competitive price. It does use QLC memory, but for most people who are doing gaming and basic work on their system, that is perfectly adequate. And again, this one has just been updated, so it's now available with a 4 terabyte capacity. And then that one on the left there is called the Sage, and that is a brand new one. It's a PCI Express Gen 4 M.2 NVMe SSD. And I was looking at it to see like, all right, is this another Phison controller based one? No, it's InnoGrit. That's right. InnoGrit is the maker of this controller. I haven't heard of them before, but apparently John Wayne started a SSD controller company. It's a fun name. More to the point though, they've got a demo going on just with some crystal disk marks showing sequential reads about 7,200 megabytes per second and sequential writes up over 5,000, and they said they're expecting to probably hit over 6. In fact, 6,100 megabytes per second writes and over 100,000 K IOPS. So that's some pretty impressive performance. And if you're looking at these SSD and thinking it doesn't have a heatsink on it, all of these Gen 4 SSDs I've seen have heatsinks. It will ship with one, so don't worry about that. A couple new memory kits from ADATA's XPG line. This is the XPG Sidru. I believe that's named after a Diablo thing. So this is memory, so it's still going to do all the same memory things, just a different design with the XPG logo across the top. So take a look at that, and if you like it, then maybe get that instead of the Spectrix. Spectrix has already been out, but it's like maximum RGB Spectrix, and just a little bit more subtle RGB, or go for some unique RGB. Here's a different thing. This is being called the XPG Darkmoon for now, and that top part right there, which is reminding a little bit of the G-Skill Royal, of course, but this is actually a little enclosure, right? You can open this up and replace what's inside. They've put a bunch of sort of clear beads to let the RGB shine through, but you can customize it. Pop it open, I don't know, put some little plastic characters in there or some jelly beans or something that the light will shine through and look cool, and you can make your own special top piece for your DDR4 RGB memory. Here's a little throwback to the Newegg TV days with me and Kyle. We did a build there called the Gold Build, or the Golden Build. If you guys haven't seen that video, I recommend checking it out. It was, I think it was kind of funny. But this is the keyboard that we should have used for that build. Look at that. This is the Golden Summoner, and apparently this is actual gold. Yes, 24 karat gold plated keyboard as well as the wrist rest. I guess maybe you come away from a gaming session with some gold flakes on your skin or something like that. Apparently they originally made a gold plated keyboard for some very VIP people, and I won't say specifically who, but some important people they wanted to impress, and I guess word got out and people were like, hey, maybe I want that too. So I have no idea how much this is going to cost. Now, just to be clear, you can't have this keyboard. It's too special. It's too high-end. But let us know in the comment section down below if you have any interest in something akin to this. Obviously, the gold is just a little bit too high-end for most gamers out there, but maybe a silver edition, maybe a chrome edition. Maybe that could be fun. Who knows? Here's the XPG Precog, and this is a headset, a high-end headset, actually. This one's gonna go for about $200, although I believe it's been on sale for a little bit less than that. It's got some nice features, like it has an analog connection down there. It's also got a USB Type-C connector, so you can connect to your system either way. It's also got a removable boom mic down here. But the thing that really makes this high-end is the drivers. Actually, it's a dual driver setup, so you've got more of a standard headphone driver here on the left, and then this is an electrostatic driver. I'll be honest, this is outside of the range of the stuff that I usually cover, but there's the driver, as you can tell. It's distinctly different from this type of driver, and it's also really nice and better, and audiophiles like it. So if someone can do me a favor and go off in the comments about what makes the electrostatic driver better than normal drivers, then we can get a better explanation of why this is potentially a good headset. And if you are interested, again, that's the XPG Precog. ADATA really has a lot of stuff going on at their booth. I just got one more thing here I wanted to mention, and that is these mice. Each of these mice is the same mouse, but each of these mice is a little bit different, and that is because they are 3D printed, or 4D printed. I don't know why it says 4D, because that means it would be printed, and it could also time travel. More to the point though, you have a base for the mouse like this, which is pretty straightforward. Ambidextrous potentially as well, so this might be a godsend to any of you lefties out there who can't find a perfect mouse. But basically they have a software solution, and you can also potentially in the future do this with an app. There you just have it working with a webcam. You scan your hand, it looks at the space between your digits and how long your fingers are, and you tell it what kind of grip you have, and then it tells you what your ideal mouse shape might be. And then it prints it out, and then you have a mouse custom designed specifically for your hand. And this also has kind of a cool feature if you like this mesh, 3D printed mesh on the side, which is flexible, so you can kind of squeeze it a little bit, which is fun. But it's meant to work so if you squeeze it, it clicks a little button there, and that will adjust your DPI on the fly, so that's cool too. The mouse itself uses on-round switches up to 16,000 DPI, PMW3391 sensors, and it says RGB lighting, but it doesn't seem to be on currently with any of these. Oh, and I didn't say what it's called. It is the Headshot, the XPG Headshot from ADATA, still in the concept phase, so if you guys have any feedback again for ADATA on this, let them know in the comment section down below. So I said that headshot was going to be the last thing, but they also have a monitor. This is called the Photon. It comes with a arm pre-attached, and it's got sort of a mesh fabric on the back. So that's unique. That's different. I don't know too much about the further specs of this, but I'll include them in the description if I can find them out. But guys, that's all the time I've got for today's video, so leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and a huge thank you, of course, to my sponsors for CES 2020, MSI, Thermaltake, Lian Li, and Cooler Master. We'll see you guys in the next one.